Hello everyone! Today I'll be looking at Blazing Bash's Madara, the latest unit added in the game, the latest relevant unit I guess. And I'll do my best to talk you out of wasting your pearls on him. Now, let's split this discussion in two parts, the PvE and PvP part. So starting with the PvE part, the V1 Madara is using the purple model, the one from when Hashirama defeated him and wanted Madara to join forces with his Senju clan, and where Madara kindly asked him to kill his brother or himself. Now, what makes this Madara so good? Well, for 4 chakra he actually does sleep damage for 6 turns, which is pretty amazing. It's actually better than Sasori in some ways. But the multiplier is very low on the jutsu, so skills problem at the start of the game, not having early bursts, can't really be solved by this Madara. He can do a good job at it though. You could technically still use Shippuden Sasuke and Sasori and skill Obito to do the same thing, so it's not that impressive, but it's still a pretty strong skill ability, sleep ability obviously. Now, what's interesting is that for 8 chakra, without any duplicates, he does around 18k, which is almost more than Sasori, pretty impressive, and when you get his duplicates, he does up to 24k, which is the most in the element. Still, when ranking him in terms of priority when picking for the AoE row, I place him below Utakata and Sasori. They're more consistent than him, they need a lot less help than him to actually get the job done. Getting 4 duplicates isn't very reasonable in my eyes, but whatever, to each his own. What this Madara can also do is generate chakra with his regular jutsu of 2 targets, because he does 11 hits. Technically speaking, very technically speaking, you could put him on a PvP team also as a chakra generator, and he also has 26k HP, and the 3rd duplicate gives him 10% dodge. If you can sync up with more Uchiha units, you would get 25% dodge, and obviously if you have someone who gives a body skill with dodge behind him, you could reach up to 45% dodge with this Madara, making him a semi-decent tank, kind of, but not really, because if he gets hit by a Lee jutsu with a Lee who has the 5th duplicate, he's going to get one shot. It's not a great idea, but it's an idea. Now, there isn't really anything much more to say. He's just another slip unit, but he's a pretty efficient slip unit, and he only needs 4 chakra for his slip jutsu. So he'll actually be pretty useful for PvE if you manage to get him. It also helps that his field damage reduction aura is pretty amazing at 20 to 25%, and he also has a body damage reduction 20% equal to Otakata and better than Sasori. Now, moving on to his PvP variant, meaning his V2 state, where he put on the red armor, and presumably it's from where he tamed the Ninetales and still managed to lose somehow to Hashirama. What makes this version better in PvP? Well, for starters, when you look at his PvE stats, it's absolute garbage and makes you want to delete the game, so let's immediately jump into the PvP stats. Madara now has 206 speed, whereas before he had 160, and he also has a duplicate, further increasing his speed by 30, meaning with full pills he gets up to 266, which is pretty decent, I'm not going to lie. It's not that impressive, but it's decent, it's fine. His HP is also a little increased at 30k, he gets 10% damage reduction of his 2nd duplicate, meaning he's going to survive the infamous Lee jutsu. And his jutsu has a changed hitbox, it's a rectangle now with a shittier animation, but he gives himself, for 3 turns, negate damage from all jutsus to himself. Now, if you're like me, that sounds like you can still hit him with slip damage, some debuffs like immobilization, jutsu seal, maybe even swap him out, lock him in with a switch seal. But when you actually try to hit him, he just substitutes himself, like the bosses in the previous Ninja Road, where you couldn't do anything to them. So the text basically lies to you, and Madara largely relies on that lie to be effective. It doesn't negate any damage, it just substitutes him with 100%. So, this makes him pretty dangerous if you've never played against him. So, hopefully you hear this and don't get suckered in to his bullshit. Now, what else can he do? Realistically speaking, that's about it. His first duplicate ignores substitution, which is pretty awesome since a lot of people still run dodge for some reason. It's getting increasingly easy to deal with dodge, so I see it falling out of favor, but in case your opponent is running dodge, dealing 14k to their face is pretty useful when they can't ignore it. Now, as I already said, he does 14k AoE. He can't generate chakra in this state unless you hit all 3 targets, which isn't happening a lot of the time. And you can use him in the back row, similarly to how you would use Onuki or Utakata, which is pretty nice. You could put him behind Vitugara, you could put him behind Hinata, that sort of thing. Now, what's the problem with this Madara? Why am I talking him down? Why am I not giving him the praise I usually give to Blazing Bash units? This is the first Blazing Bash unit that's a sign of things to come. It was ridiculous that we had 6 elite units in the banner, and with Hashirama joining the banner they got to the number 7. It was pretty stupid, and it's okay that finally we have a more mediocre unit in Madara. So why isn't he impressive? Let's start with his V1 state. If you already have Utakata, Sasori, Shippuden Sasuke, if you already have even skill Obito, why in the world would you actually want this Madara? He does a lot of damage, raw damage with his AoE, but who gives a fuck? The only problem skill have ever had is against Heart, and their best units against Heart are the ones I listed. You don't need this Madara for PvE one bit. Let's in turn switch over to PvP. Maybe the V2 Madara is useful. Maybe you should get him. Not really, because Onuki and Utakata exist. Now, I'll start with Utakata because more people know what he's about. Utakata is slightly slower than him at full duplicates, so fair enough. Neither of them are extremely fast though, so not like it matters. Utakata has slightly less HP, he's slightly easier to kill. Whatever, that's fine. And their body skills are the same. Utakata, however, can do up to 23k damage with his jutsu, and that's before any duplicates. If you've watched my videos, my Utakata regularly does 25k, and that's with just one duplicate, I think. Anyway, Utakata is an assassin. Madara is an AoE unit. AoE units, right now, are suffering thanks to Hashirama, the real New Year Blazing Bash unit. And it really isn't helping that Madara can't really impress with his 14k. Yeah, it ignores substitution, but so what? Your target still won't die. Let's move on to Onuki. He is also kind of an assassin, and his big disadvantage compared to Madara comes in his speed and his chakra. Onuki has 5 chakra, so he can't do his jutsu on the first rotation. Cry me a river. Like I said at the start, there are 2 options you can pair Madara with that are pretty simple. Vitugara, or the most used frontline unit in the game, Hinata. Now, what's cool about Hinata is that she needs 4 chakra to do a jutsu, meaning if you put Madara behind her, you're losing chakra. What I mean by that is that both of them need only 4 chakra to do a jutsu. Whichever of the 2 you use, the other one isn't doing anything, while when you pair her with Onuki, Onuki doesn't have the option to use a jutsu, meaning Hinata is boosting him. Hinata is getting 40% damage reduction if she has her duplicates, and Onuki isn't getting killed even worse than Madara. Unlike Madara, Onuki doesn't have to lie to the user who's reading what his jutsus do. Onuki has 35k HP, and with his duplicates gains up to 15% damage reduction, I think. Onuki isn't getting killed, not like Madara is at least. and Onuki is fast approaching a limit break. As soon as the limit break hits, right now Onuki does 16k damage and has 35k HP with 170 speed. When the limit break hits, Onuki gets to 190, I think, yeah. And with Pius obviously that's 220, 210, whatever, 220 let's say. Onuki will also be doing up to 18k damage, maybe even 20 if he gets lucky. Significantly better option than Madara even right now, and when the limit break hits, he'll be that much more impressive. What's also cool about Onuki is that it sets up a pretty unkillable lane. Why would they even go for your Hinata and Onuki lane? Do they really have enough damage to take out two 40k effective HP units? Like, even more than 80k when you combine them and their damage reduction abilities? It's really a no-brainer to why Madara isn't that much more impressive than these two units. And even if you're still thinking, okay, Madara has ways where you could argue he's better than Onuki and Utakata. If you already have Onuki and Utakata, what fucks should you give about the new Madara? Absolutely zero fucks. Now, looking at my elemental list, I think this is where the disgrace really starts to set in. I have Madara ranked, I think, number 7? Yep, below Yamato. The list is going to get changed soon to split people by PvE and PvP, due to some requests and me partially realizing it's going to be fun to do it. And in terms of his roles, I think for PvE, I already mentioned I have him as the third best pick for the AoE role, only below Sasori and Utakata. And for PvP, I have him as the best AoE user because of the current state of the meta, not his own merits. His AoE at least costs only 4 chakra, he's not that slow, so on the overall list for every element, I have him only below Neji and Rinnegan Sasuke. I think that's fair for right now and what Hashirama has done to the game. That doesn't mean he's a better overall unit than the likes of Sasori, Skill-Obito, War-Gara. It just means right now he is taking advantage of the meta, provided by the better Blazing Bash unit. My strong recommendation is to save your pearls for next month's Blazing Bash. I'm sure it's going to be much better than wasting them on this Madara, who is pretty much obsolete and the 8th best Blazing Bash unit so far, out of the 8. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.